Hello, my name is Jake, and joining me are Kathleen and Lorena from Team Papilionem. Our group is interested in the challenge of what it means to move beyond sustainable gestures and toward true coexistence with nature. This is a broad topic, so our focus will be on one of the most basic architectural elements, the wall, or more specifically, the exterior envelope of a building. Our process began with historical and case study research exploring what a wall is, the purpose of a wall, and how these definitions have evolved and continue to evolve over time. Most simply stated, a wall or building envelope is a physical barrier between inside and outside. However, Jenny Lovell's definition in Building Envelopes: An Integrated Approach dives a little deeper. She states that a building's envelope must reconcile many requirements: ventilation, solar heat gain, glare control, daylight levels, thermal insulation, water management, materials, assembly, sound, and pollution control. Despite the complex and interwoven relationship within the boundary between the natural environment and the man-made environment, the building envelope is often still treated as merely a barrier. This has created a disconnect between humans and nature.
In the case of the Butterfly Sanctuary by New York's nonprofit architecture firm Terraform One, this human-nature relationship is explored through the co-inhabitants of the monarch butterfly habitats and office workers. The building facade seeks to be ecologically generous, weaving butterfly conservation strategies into its design through the integration of open monarch habitat in its facades, roof, and atrium, and serve as a new biome of coexistence for people, plants, and butterflies. The double-skin facade mimics the natural habitat by providing milkweed and nectar flowers on a 3D printed diagrid structure made from carbon sequestering concrete, infilled with ETFE foil and coated with glass on the outer layer. This can be seen in the upper right image. These layers create a climate-controlled space 3 feet deep and 7 stories tall. The atrium habitats will be mostly enclosed, while the facade habitats will be semi-enclosed to help grow the local wild monarch population by providing open access. Given the height of the building, the facade becomes a vertical meadow and incubator safe for monarchs in all seasons. Street-level windows feature LED screens that project magnified views of the butterflies for pedestrians to raise awareness of mass extinction of the monarch butterfly and demonstrate a new way to coexist with nature despite being in the heart of Manhattan. Hydrogel bubbles on ETFE foil help maintain optimal humidity levels, and stacks of algae help purify the air and the building wastewater. Additional solar panels on the roof provide renewable energy and power to the building. Butterflies can come and go as they need from the inside of the building skin, system, and roof. Atrium spaces intersect interior portions of the building from the roof down, allowing office workers to be surrounded by the butterflies and their habitats for peaceful coexistence.
Our group found that the Environmental Protection Agency estimates the average American spends roughly 90% of their time indoors. The detriment to our productivity, physical, and mental health is immeasurable. We began to question what it would mean and look like to blur the line between indoor and outdoor. We asked, how can architectural barriers, or walls, define coexistence between nature and humans? As stated earlier, a wall is far more than a barrier. There is already a complex relationship between the forces on either side of a wall. We are simply interested in how to magnify the positive interrelationships. In this scenario, the wall is both the problem and the solution to disconnectedness. Our position is that by designing walls with relationships and connections in mind, we can rebuild our connection with nature by utilizing the wall as an interface. Transforming vertical surfaces into living walls full of vegetation and food production capabilities will embed nature's abundance into our man-made habitats and structures. In turn, nature will reclaim the landscapes that it has been relentlessly pushed out of.
Exterior vegetation has been used for centuries, primarily in the form of various climbing plants, with or without the support received, spread over facades to give a green appearance to the environment. Vertical greening offers an outstanding number of public and private benefits, such as aesthetical, social, ecological, and environmental, and fits the principle of ecological engineering. The earliest form of vertical gardens dates from 2,000 years ago in the Mediterranean region. Ornamental roof gardens have been developed initially by the civilizations of the Tigris and Euphrates river valleys, the most famous examples of which were the Hanging Gardens of Babylon in the 7th and 8th centuries. Several examples of green roofs and facades dating back to the 18th and 19th century can be found in northern regions of Europe, such as sod roofs in Norway, or climbing plants for shading vertical surfaces in Mediterranean regions. In an indoor environment, a living wall is ideal for adding healthy green space. They create a comfortable, welcoming atmosphere and a pleasant smell to any entrance, foyer, or office. They have been shown to reduce stress, elevate mood, and improve concentration and other cognitive functions. In healthcare settings, living walls have been shown to lower patient anxiety and stimulate pleasure receptors in the brain, aiding patient recovery. In an exterior environment, vegetation can dramatically reduce the maximum temperatures of a building by shading walls from the sun, with daily temperature fluctuation being reduced by as much as 50%. Through evapotranspiration, large amounts of solar radiation can be converted into latent heat, which does not cause temperature to rise. In addition, the facade fully covered by greenery is protected from intense solar radiation in the summer and can reflect or absorb in its leaf cover between 40 and 80% of the received radiation, depending on the amount and type of greenery. In general, the use of vegetation that is well designed and managed can be a useful tool for passive thermal control of buildings with the consequent energy saving. In order to measure our claims, we created two charts showing the benefits of coexistence between nature and humans in public or exterior environments and interior through living walls. We showed the area of impact which, for example, in an exterior environment can mean air quality improvement. Fact: elevated temperature in modern urban environments is increased by vehicles or air conditioning. Benefits we have from living walls: they capture airborne pollutants and atmospheric deposition on leaf surfaces. Another area of impact we focus on is food production. By 2050, about 10 billion people will populate this world. To feed them, we need to innovate. Living walls can open up new areas for food cultivation. Why do we benefit from this? The transport effort is reduced because many food produce will be able to grow there. Surface water from the building can also be used for cultivation on the buildings. Vertical vegetation on living walls can reduce the personal food production footprint. Coexistence benefits can be measured in the interior environment as well, since the living wall can be exterior or interior. An area impacted by the interior environment will have better energy efficiency through improvements to thermal insulation capacity through external temperature regulation. The extent of savings depends on various factors such as climate, distance from other building envelopes, envelope types, and the density around it. We benefit from this through limited movement of heat through thick vegetation mass. Reduction of ambient temperature via shading and plants processes of evapotranspiration may create a buffer against wind during winter. This said, living walls are beneficial both for humans and nature. It is a way of building with nature.
In conclusion, a wall is synonymous with a barrier, but our research has revealed that there is more potential for connection than one might imagine. Our case study and other precedents show how current efforts to soften the divide between inside and outside are already succeeding. Perhaps most interesting, however, was the historical research which illustrated that this is not a new idea. Humans seek out nature, and nature pushes against our man-made barriers. There is a fundamental equilibrium both humans and nature yearn for that is perhaps as old as the universe itself. Thank you.